The second song, I Surrender by Celine Dion. There's so much life I've left to live in this fire's burning state. When I watch you look at me, I think I could find a way to stand for every dream and forsake this solid ground and give up this fear within of what would happen if they ever knew I'm in love with you. 'Cause I'd surrender everything to feel the chance to live again. I risk you. I know you can feel it too. We'd make it true. 1,000 dreamers still believe. I'll make you give them all to me. I hold you in my arms and never let go. I surrender. I know I can survive another night away from you. You're the reason I go on, and no one needs to live the truth. Right now, there's no better time. From this fear I will be free, and I'll live again with love, and know they can't take that away from me. And I will see. You can feel it too. We'd make it true. 1,000 dreamers still believe. I'll make you give them all to me. I hold you in my arms and never let go. I'll surrender. Make you give them all to me. I hold you in my arms and never let go. I surrender. Right here, right now, I give my love to live again. Now break free. Take me, my everything. I surrender all to you. Right now, I give my life. Take me, I surrender all to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the second song I want to sing Bruno Mars, Look It Out of Heaven. Let's sing along together. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Never had much faith in love or miracles. Never wanna put my heart on the line. But swimming in your word, it's something spiritual. I'm born again every time you spend the night. 'Cause your love takes me to paradise. Yeah, your love takes me to paradise and show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long. For too long, yeah, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, for too long. Oh, 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 oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You bring me to my knees, you make me testify. You can make a sinner change his way. Open up your gates, 'cause I can't wait to see the light. And right there is where I wanna stay. 'Cause your love takes me to paradise. Yeah, your love takes me to paradise and show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, for too long. Yeah, you make me feel like I was locked out of heaven for too long, for too long. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can I just stay here, spend the rest of my days here? Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can I just stay here, spend the rest of my day here? 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, for too long. Yeah, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, for too long. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Thank you. I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. Set over dreaming me, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand. Will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, will never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. This end could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, never, never enough. Never, never, never enough. Never for me, for me. Never enough. Never, never, never enough. Never, never, never enough. Never for me, for me, for me. All the shine of 1,000 spotlight, all the sun we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. This hand could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, will never be enough for me. Never, never, never enough. Never, never, never enough. Never for me, for me. Never enough. Never, never, never enough. Never, never, never enough. Never for me, for me, for me. For me. Big thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Icaisd 2024. This event is organized by Bina Sarana Informatika. For the next keynote speakers, let us invite Professor Dr. Herman Mawengkang from Universitas Sumatera Utara, Indonesia, as the keynote speaker to deliver his presentation. Professor Dr. Herman Mawengkang, are you there? Hello, sir. Okay. Okay. We are still waiting for Professor Dr. Herman Mawengkang to join with us in the Zoom session. So, Mr., what do you think about our topic today, the AI?
Talking about AI is really important because we have so many positive and negative way, right?
Right.
Just like Professor James said that we have to be more intelligent using that kind of application.
We need to be smarter to use the AI itself,
To be
right?
smarter because
Yes.
we do not know which one is the fake, which one is the real.
And
right?
relate also with the ethic, right?
Right.
Yeah, like
So-
what our participant asking to our keynote speaker.
Right, right.
That's a real amazing. Not only we as the lecturer, but also our student
For
is also
students,
using the AI,
yes,
isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's well, actually, it is really useful.
yes, of
It's
course.
really beneficial for all of us. But still, if we try to use that kind of AI for the negative,
Yeah,
right?
we should careful about this, right? If we are talking about the ethic, we are talking about our private. Yeah.
privacy,
Yeah, privacy is a
And
really important
security.
thing when we are using the AI. So, being smarter
being smarter.
than
and
the AI
just like,
itself.
just like Professor Vijay said that phishing, what else? For those who use in a kind of computer, malware. is it
Malware.
malware?
Okay.
We are not familiar with that kind of terms.
Yeah, but
yeah.
we are hearing carefully also. But because we are use it every day for the AI itself, right?
That's right. That's
Okay, we are still waiting for Professor Dr. Herman Mawengkang for joining with us. Is it? Oh, we are still waiting. Okay. Okay. For our second keynote, our session in the keynote speaker, I mean, okay. I just want a reminder to all the participants, okay, to do like, what is it, taking a note perhaps? You want to ask the questions?
To prepare questions.
Yeah, prepare question. Okay, Professor Dr. Herman Mawengkang, are you there? Professor?
Yes, I'm in Medan.
Hi. Are you ready, sir?
Are you ready?
Yes,
Yes?
I'm ready.
You are ready. Okay. You want to give your presentation by your own or need us to help you?
Hang on.
Hello, sir. Professor?
Connection.
Okay. Unstable connection.
We are still freeze.
You are
we
still
are-
free, sir.
We are freezing. We are freezing. Is it? It's about the connection. So we have to wait.
Okay. Yes.
Mhm.
Hello, Professor.
Is it the connection?
Is it our connection? And the
Already.
professor's connections.
Already?
Nggak gerak kan? Ya.
Okay.
Hello, Professor.
Hello, Willy.
Yes. Okay. Can you hear us?
Nggak bisa dia lagi.
Hello.
Professor Herman, my
Yes.
our mentor,
Ah,
Spiritus Rector.
you do great.
Yeah. Good to see you, Professor Herman.
Okay.
Forward to your great speech.
Okay, Professor Herman Mawengkang.
It's not a great fish.
Hello.
Your talk is a great fish.
Professor Herman.
Maybe we can ask for understanding if my talk is a little mathematical. I hope
That's right.
nobody will feel disturbed too much.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Good to see you, Professor Herman.
I'm sorry for interrupt, Professor.
Our
Okay.
main attraction of the conference.
You are the main attraction.
It's you, Professor Herman. You're most famous in Indonesia and in the world.
Okay, Professor Herman Mawengkang, your time will last in 30 minutes. Before we start our presentation, let us visualize his profile video.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to introduce Professor Herman Mawengkang, a renowned scholar in the field of operations research and mathematics. He holds the position of Professor of Operations Research at the Department of Mathematics, Universitas Utara, Medan, Indonesia. Professor Mawengkang completed his PhD in Operations Research at the University of New South Wales, Sydney, Australia in 1986. Following his degree in mathematics from Universitas Utara in 1974, with a distinguished academic career spanning several decades, his research interests include nonlinear integer programming, stochastic programming, mathematical modeling, financial optimization, and data mining. Professor Mawengkang has made significant contributions to the academic community, with numerous publications in internationally recognized journals. His research spans a wide range of topics, including financial reporting, optimization models, disaster mitigation, and environmental sustainability. Please join me in welcoming Professor Herman Mawengkang.
Okay, Professor Dr. Herman Mawengkang, the screen is yours, please.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you. Who is the chairperson for this session? I don't know. Okay, I think it's better start because the time is not much. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizing committee for inviting me to give a talk in this lovely conference. We already started in the morning. Now it's my session. Right, Willie? And we have Willie here.
Yes, Professor.
The great professor in the world. Not like myself.
Student of Professor Herman. Student of Professor Herman.
Okay. Okay, then I think I'm going to start my talk. My talk is about, let us share screen first. So, can you see this, Willie?
Yes, it looks very good.
Okay. This is about a water distribution network. As we know that in this decade that people need water in the city or in the other places, or for the industry and for the plantation or whatsoever. So this is about the distribution network for water. Actually, this is also contained in the Sustainable Development Goal, as what the first talk from James Cochran, he already mentioned about the Sustainable Development Program. So this is belongs to that goal also. And I will use epsilon constraint approach. And because of the problem, the water distribution network problem has several objectives. So that's why we need to use the multi-objective programming. As the demand and the water quality are usually uncertain, so that's why we use the stochastic programming. Actually, we can use also robust optimization for this kind of problem. Okay, let's again. So I think what I already mentioned in the first part that the presentation is about the water distribution with multi-objective stochastic approach. So we would like to address actually the complexity of the river for the distribution network that encompassing the factor like uncertain demand, water quality, and operational constraint. So that's why we use multi-objective optimization. And this talk will explore the application of a robust and efficient algorithm tailored to handle uncertainty in water demand. We demonstrate the effectiveness of this method with several case studies. So I think we know already that the growing demand for the water is increasing, and we have to consider also the climate change, the urbanization challenges, as many people will move to the city. That will create more problem for the water demand. And so that's why the objective for this paper is about multi-objective stochastic programming model under uncertainty. And the key issues of this problem is about the demand variability, supply expectation, the infrastructure, and sustainability. Okay. And the primary goals that I already considered is about how to optimize the operational in such a way that will give the efficient distribution and to minimize the environmental impact. And we have to make sure the equitable water distribution and to enhance resilience to extreme even and long-term changes. Okay, so why stochastic programming? I think I already mentioned, so skip it. And as I mentioned before, that we are in one of the sustainability goals that for goal 6, that is to ensure availability and sustainable management of water. And the network will do the efficient water use and environmental stewardship and reliable service delivery. That's why the problem has become so complex, as we know that the structure of the network with so many nodes and many complex parameters. So that makes the problem getting more complex. And we try to solve the problem with using the epsilon constraint. Why we use epsilon constraint? Because one of the technique for solving the multi-objective optimization problem, besides using priority and interactive algorithm, then we can use the epsilon constraint. As with the epsilon constraint, the several objective, we will put only one objective in the objective function, and the other objective will go to the constraint. Okay, so the problem description for this case, I just take the water distribution network in Medan. my city, in Medan, my city, because it is easy to get the data. But of course, it's not in Medan as a whole, but only a small part of Medan. So that's why here we can see that the network only consists of 58 pipelines and 57 connection points, including as a reservoir. And we already had also the hydraulic head is fixed 121 meter. That's the problem description. So I cannot take the whole city because we will have the problem with a very huge variable. Then it is impossible to solve them. I mean because of the dimension of the problem. So I just take one part of Medan, such as a complex of real estate. Okay. And then this is the geographic Medan, located in North Sumatra province. It's the third largest city in Indonesia. And Medan population is approximately 2.3 million people. And the estimated clean water demand for the city in 2025 is about 11,000 liters per second. And currently, the board that handle this water distribution is called Tirta Nadi. So it is a PDAM, as the Tirta Nadi is only region. Region. And the city water we supply clean water for roughly 70% of the population. So this factor highlights the need for water use, water resource and management and infrastructure optimization, as the growing demand from the people for clean water. Okay. So in order to create the mathematical model, so first I would like to introduce the set that we will use for creating the model. And there are 4 sets: the pipeline set, and connection, and available pipe diameter. And then we have the parameter, and the parameter in this case is a hydraulic head of reservoir, maximum water velocity, the roughness coefficient, and the pressure head constraint. And other parameters like cost, energy consumption, and reliability factor is associated with each pipe diameter. And then we define the decision variable. And for the decision variable, we have 2 decision variables, XIGD, as a binary variable that will indicate whether the pipe between nodes I and J uses diameter D. Usually in the distribution for water, because the pipes is available discretely, so that's why the variable for to decide which diameter will be used is a binary variable. And then the pressure head node is present by I. So these variables are the key element of the optimization, and we will determine the desired network configuration and water flow distribution. Then we have original configuration network, and then by using this model, we can have the result for the configuration network. Okay. And then we have the model formulation. As usual, that the problem should have an objective function. In this case, because it is multi-objective, so we have cost minimizing and energy minimizing, energy consumption, and to maximize the reliability. And the constraint is about pressure head, water velocity, flow conservation, and how to decide which pipe we will use. So the objective function goal has to be achieved, and there are several objectives, and these objectives usually conflicting each other. So, which means that we require a trade-off analysis to determine the optimal balance. And we will present that in my presentation. Okay, so this is the decision variable in mathematical terms. So it is not too mathematical. Perhaps my presentation is a bit different with Prof. Willy. Prof. Willy is much harder for the mathematics. And then we have the objective function, minimizing cost, minimizing energy consumption, and maximizing the network reliability. Yeah, so we call it the first objective is Z1, the second objective Z2, and third objective Z3. And then we have the constraint. First, we have the pressure head constraint, and then we have the water velocity and flow conservation. So we really need this constraint. Yeah, and then the pipe selection. So from this equation, we can see that actually this should be the binary variable as it is written in this formula with equals 1, which means that only one diameter that can be chosen. Okay. And then because we use the epsilon constraint, then as I mentioned before, that only one objective to be the main objective and the other objective into the constraint with threshold epsilon. So we have this is the second objective, that's less than or equal the threshold epsilon for objective 2, and then the reliability objective. So this is the Z3 rather than equal to epsilon 3. So that's why we will have the epsilon constraint problem to be minimize the objective function, that we only consider one objective. So that's why if we use epsilon constraint, which means that we're going to solve only a single objective. So the problem is not multi-objective anymore, but only single objective. That's it. That's why we use epsilon constraint. But yeah, actually there are some weaknesses using this approach, and the constraint is described before. I think I already mentioned about this one, this the optimization problem, and then we have the threshold, the epsilon for the energy consumption, and the reliability, which is represent the acceptable level of energy consumption and reliability. So these thresholds are determined based on specific needs and requirement for the water distribution network. So by setting appropriate threshold, we can ensure that the optimized network will meet both the effectiveness or cost and the criteria of the performance. And then, because this is a multi-objective problem, so we need not only actually, it's not really only for multi-objective, but for every optimization problem, we need to have a trade-off. A trade-off. So this approach will enable us to explore the trade-off between cost, energy consumption, and reliability by, in this case, by adjusting the threshold, the epsilon. So we can analyze how the network performance changes in response to the different constraints. This will allow us to identify the optimal solution that balances this factor and meet the specific objective of the water distribution network. And this is the example for the trade-off result. So this data actually is only hypothetical data. I'm sorry about that. So we have the several scenario, and then we have epsilon for energy for the objective 2, and epsilon for the objective 3. Objective 3 is about reliability, objective 2 is about energy, and then the total cost. And then we can find the energy consumption and the reliability. So this is the result for the trade-off after using the epsilon constraint optimization. And we can use we can see the Pareto form for the trade-off result. the Pareto from. This graph is really needed because what we have for the multi-objective optimization, we cannot have an optimization, an optimal solution for the whole, but we can have only, let's say, what we call it, non-dominated result. So we need to use, or we can have Pareto optimal. So this is the Pareto from for the result. Okay, this is as you have seen from the table before. So we have 0.1, 0.2 for the scenario, and the reliability and the total cost. So the trade-off within the reliability and the total cost. Okay. So if we look at that result again, so we can analyze that the cost versus energy consumption. So as the energy consumption threshold decreases, then the total cost increases. This trade-off highlights the importance of balancing energy efficiency with financial constraint. And for the cost and reliability, by increasing the reliability, we need to higher total cost. So if we need a high reliability, of course, we need more cost. So this relationship demonstrates that the trade-off between achieving high reliability and minimizing project expenses. And the optimal scenario, Scenario 1 offers the most cost-efficient solution, while it sacrifices some reliability and energy efficiency. But it provides a balance between cost optimization and performance. Okay. Well, that's because of we use multi-objective. And then we have a heat map visualization. This heat map shows how epsilon value for energy consumption and reliability will affect the total cost. The color gradient indicate cost level and helping identify the effective balance point. So this is the graph. This is for the 2-dimension, and this is the 3-dimension. 3-dimension because we have a cost variation, energy, and reliability parameter. This is only 2-dimension. So actually we can see from this map, this visualization about the effect for the energy consumption and reliability. Okay, I move to this one. We analyze the Pareto frontier. So first we generate the data point and we conduct simulation with varying cost and reliability. And then we plot it and create a curve of optimal point which will balance the cost and reliability. And then we can analyze the trade-off. Okay. Then we can have the Pareto from, this is all should be only 1 ohm, not 2 ohm. Pareto from curve. So that's the Pareto from curve. The Pareto from curve show the optimal trade-off between cost and reliability. That's for the 2-dimension, and this is for the 3-dimension. Because in here we have another one, the energy consumption. Okay, I move to the how the network will look like after we solve the problem. So we have now a diagram something like this, and the node represent junction or consumer point within the network. So maybe this is my house or other houses. Yeah, that's the node, and the edges represent the pipeline connecting the nodes, not network connectivity. And in here, I also put the flow velocity between each node, between each network. Yeah, between each network. We have the number here. Actually, it tells us about the flow velocity. Flow velocity, the optimization of flow velocity. So which means that the flow of the matter or of the water will be like this. Yeah, the flow, the optimal flow after we solve the problem. So it's not only the structure of the network, but also the flow of the water. Okay. And we have a strategy maybe for future optimization. And first we have an energy minimization strategy. For the further optimization of the water resource network, we can focus on the minimizing energy consumption, as this is the requirement for the sustainable development goal. We need not only the availability of the water, but also the energy consumption, in order that we can have a result that consider the environment. So we need to minimize the energy consumption. We can see that the larger diameter pipe will reduce the resistance, and that will lead to lower energy consumption. However, this comes at the cost of increase for the material expenses. Another strategy is to gradually tighten the energy consumption constraint that will force the model to get the configuration with reduced energy usage. So by adjusting the constraint, the model can identify solutions that balance energy efficiency with the other objective. And in addition to adjusting physical parameters, the integration of variable speed pump to present promising avenue for energy efficiency. That's for the further optimization. So the variable speed pumps dynamically adjust the speed based on the flow requirement. That will result in significant energy saving compared to the fixed speed pumps as we had before. So these pumps offer great control over flow rate that will allow for precise adjustment to meet the varying demand. So the demand is varying, so we can anticipate the varying demand as well. So by implementing the variable speed pumps, the water distribution network can operate more efficiently and reduce energy consumption without compromising the operational performance. So we have now the conclusion and the future research. So the study has successfully demonstrated how multi-objective stochastic programming optimize the water distribution network by balancing cost, energy consumption, and reliability under uncertain conditions. And the key finding, the epsilon constraint formulation proved effective in identifying the trade-off. That's the main important thing of the various objectives. So this will enable informed decision making for water resource manager. The result provides valuable insight into the optimal design and operation of water distribution network under uncertainty. And the future research that we will focus on the incorporating additional factors such as environmental impact and water quality consideration. And real-time data, by integrating real-time data from sensor and weather forecast, we can allow the dynamic optimization, adapting to changing conditions and improving operational efficiency. I think that's all for my presentation. I would like to thank you for your attention. I give back my what would I say? my
Okay. Thank you,
time to the chair, session chair.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Herman Mawenka.
You're
for that
welcome.
enlightening presentation. Thank you so much, sir.
And now, let us move on to our fifth keynote speaker. Please welcome Professor Dr. Gerhard Wilhelm Weber, or what we call Professor Willy, from Poznan University of Technology, Poland, a renowned expert in mathematics, operational research, and cosmology. Your time will last in 30 minutes, Prof. Before we start the presentation, let us visualize your video profile.
The conference speaker was a man born in Westphalia, Germany on October 20, 1960. He was a professor of the Faculty of Management and Technology, Poznan University of Technology in Poland. His research in the areas of financial mathematics, mathematical programming, mathematical and computational statistics, dynamical systems, discrete tomography, neuroscience, and special aspects of discrete mathematics. He is an expert in the field of mathematics and masters several programming languages such as BASIC, Fortran, and Pascal. He has also published many titles in the field of mathematics, as well as being a reviewer in several international journals. He is also active as a speaker at various international conferences. Let us greet Professor Dr. Renat Gerhard Wilhelm Weber.
All right, Professor Willy, that screen is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your beautiful introduction. I love it, and I love you very much. And I'm always very, very, very happy to speak after my mentor, Professor Hermann. So Hermann is my fatherly mentor, and I'm very happy to be in Indonesia, and he is my bridge to Indonesia, and he himself is the bridge of science of Indonesia into the whole world. So thank you very much to all of you, and I just try to adjust my view, to let you see it better.
Yes,
okay,
Prof.
as I indicated, dear friends, first of all, thank you very much, Professor Arts, and your wonderful lady at your side, Rosalina, for this beautiful introduction and for your care, and of course for the respected Dean and Professor Taufik, all of you, my thanks. As I indicated, the talk is actually a bit mathematical. But don't worry, we try to make it as simple as possible. Of course, mathematics is not denied. I think if somebody says mathematics is unnecessary, underestimate mathematics is, so to speak, the foundation of all science. And it's called by Gauss, Queen of Science. Let's get started. Here we go. It's a work together with two Greek professors and a team from Poland and my young colleague, my former student from Ankara. So we are an international team, and the talk has two parts. First of all, I tell you a little bit about Markov switching, what it means. Why switching? Aren't we switching on and off the light? Aren't in finance the good and the bad times like switched on and off, activated? And what we do is what Professor Hermann did. We apply programming, dynamic programming, for a purpose of game theory. Because our negotiation between interests called a game. And we have zero-sum and non-zero-sum games. And then later, we will use a little outview, but maybe I have to make it very brief, on pension fund systems, which uses, as Professor Hermann knows very, very well, robust control. It uses so-called Tikhonov regularization. We regularize a problem. So this is called Kalbeck-Leibler divergence penalties. And I mentioned about pension fund systems. As I said, this will happen very quickly. Now, in the financial markets, and some of you know, young people may also know it, we use mathematics. And in the mathematics, we have growth and recession. As everybody says, we have the good times and the bad times. And there can be changes in the economical policy. For example, when you have a new government, it changes suddenly economic policy. So it's kind of switch on and a switch off. So we have microstructure regulations. We have, for example, let me just mention one, bankruptcy of the Lehman Brothers, also known as the Wall Street crash. You see, the world then, yesterday, was a different one than tomorrow, Wall Street crash. And you find examples from the environment, from the Oba volcano outbreak, its eruption. So many experiences in all over the world relate to regime switching. In the domain of so-called culture, let's say culture, also call it a paradigm shift. Now, some of you heard about uncertainty. I guess every young person heard the word uncertainty. It's very famous in science under the name stochasticity. So don't worry, it easy, relax. Stochasticity sounds hard, basically uncertainty. What happens? Professor Hermann and every one of my professors, young professors, students, please note, uncertainty evolves in time. So these are processes. We speak about stochastic processes. And they are like a mosquito. If you go into your house in the evening, you sit in front of the house, stochasticity is like you want to catch a mosquito. Mosquito will be faster than you. This is a story with uncertainty. And it comes even harder, because uncertainty is not just continuous, not just zigzagging or so, but it jumps. Uncertainty is impulsive, like in life. The boy comes from the school and says, "Ma," and he's jumping. He says, "I got the best grade." And the mother is jumping as well. So life is impulsive. And it can be to the good and to the bad. Remember, times and the bad times. So jumps can be big and small. When they are small, they are still considered like continuous almost. And then sometimes we have real jumps. And then it matters how strong the jump is. What is jump height? What is jump intensity? So this is what we have to, Professor Hermann shows it with his hands. I noted it very well. I noted it. So jumps are making a big jump up or down. The question is, how can we are interested in artificial intelligence, first use and then implement our natural, our human intelligence. Before the artificial intelligence comes to play, it's first the human intelligence. And human invented down in motion concepts, Markov chain, don't need to know this in detail. Now, what we do in mathematics, try to say how the jump from one finite number to another finite number, from 2 to 5, from 5 to 7, from 7 to 0, from 0 to 12. All these finite jumps can be modeled, so to speak, between the house numbers. And there is a certain kind of way to this, which I don't detail now. This makes us able to integrate our processes. Most of you learned at school or at the university differential and integral calculus. Differential and integral calculus, also known as analysis. And in analysis, we integrate according to time or space. We do here, we integrate in a stochastic way. Because our concern is stochasticity. So we study according to stochasticity, and what all preparations was derive such a function here, pi tilde, integrate our terms, our distinguished terms. These here are our integrations in a stochastic sense, but you can still imagine it's continuous, just oscillating, very fine oscillations usually. This is our drive. For example, then myself, Professor Hermann, and Professor Davy, and Professor Boy, and Professor Doreen, when we travel the Lake Toba, drive. It's very smooth, usually. Sometimes we have to be careful because the counter traffic comes. We go a little to the side, but usually it's a smooth drive because our drivers, young people, are very, very good drivers. So this is drive, called drift. And this is diffusion. This is, so to speak, when we are little unconcentrated, we go a little to the left and right. So this is our diffusion, our uncertain part, our way. This part is, so to speak, the stochastic part with smaller jumps. And this part is with our pattern. And this all represents not our drive to the Lake Toba, which is most beautiful. Everybody knows to go to the Lake Toba is the most beautiful experience. But here it describes our path in time of the process. Because now in finance we are interested in prosperity, in in wealth, or you can call it, I don't want to tell you the details, just another thing. Friends, can you imagine? In calculus, you learned f prime is equal to 0. F, and then you make such a line in the air, f, we say f prime equal to 0, means you want to find out the maximum and minimum of a function f.
Recording in progress.
Yep, that's good. It's in progress. Recording is in progress. So what here, what differentiation prime is L prime. So we have to differentiate a process. So we differentiate a stochastic process. This means we not just take into account f prime, so to speak, f prime. Second order differentiation. Why? Because stochasticity is a second order information. Stochasticity is variance. It's going to the left, it's going to the right. Changeability. It's so to speak, the change rate. That's why we have here second order derivative. So whole process differentiated is modeled, and then we conclude our optimality criterion will be on the top of a mountain, like on the Toba, on the mountain of Toba, there is now an eco park. On the mountain of Toba, there is an eco park. We look down into the valley. We see the most beautiful lake in the world, Lake Toba. But we look down. Down means go downward. The slope, the derivative is negative. So this, and when we go up, it's positive. This is the idea of a game. One person plays down, he wants to have something small, and the other person wants to have something big. So this is what we call optimality condition. And under such optimality conditions, like at school, time is equal to 0 and f time is negative. So these are called optimality conditions. And according to optimality conditions, an optimal phi, small phi, contains the optimal value function. Optimal value function of our criterion is attained at by such a function phi. So what is all behind? We take here our risky asset as not given. We take our risky asset as not given, and we instead try to find it out. This is a risky asset, means it's our growth of our process, and it goes to show our growth rate is nothing else but, in our data case, the interest rate. So I don't want to tell too much about the details, but now let us go into the financial market. So this here is nothing but our bond. This is our risk-free bond. This is our price process of our risk-free asset. It's like go to a very secure bank in Jakarta, in Bandung, in Medan, and then you put your money there, and the price is not affected with stochasticity. So to speak, in a deterministic way, advancing price. This price here, this is our stochastic price. This price is a stochastic price in as far as we have here jumps, we have here diffusion, and here we have our finitely many pronounced jumps, our regime switches. And gamma is our jump height, and theta is our jump height. So you see, this is an integral because it's very fine. Integral means we take into account sum, we take into account an integral, it's very fine. And then what we do in mathematics is what you learned at school or at the university. School or university, you learn substitution rule. When it comes to the integral, you learn the substitution rule or partial integration, integration parts, or opposite way around. When it comes to so-called differentiation of the chain rule, so all these, or product rule, so this is used, and then we get a formula about how, by which differential equation our process evolves. This is a differential equation telling us how our process evolves. And then we have here our optimal value function, and the optimal value function is the inf sup. Inf sup. So we make it small, it's called infimum, make it called supremum. And we want to have the uncertainty. When it comes to uncertainty, we want to make it small, and when it comes here to the so-called portfolio, we want to have it big. And this is a form of our value function where you have integral term dropped out, and you are just interested in the final saving. For example, when you now want to marry, assume you're a young person, want to marry, you found your partner for the life, and you want to marry, and you want to have a child, maybe in 1 or 2 years. You have to, and you even think ahead. So you want to save money, maybe in 20 years of time, this child will study at the best university in Indonesia, like at your college. So they want to study at the best university. So there need to be money. And here, in this case, we want to have the utility, who means utility of the final savings at a certain time point t. We want to have this maximized utility of final saving. Oh, it's mathematics. And as I said, it turns out that optimal growth rate, which we don't know, in our process, this factor theta is nothing else but the interest rate. So the interest rate growth of the economy. Interest rate is the growth of the economy. If you have a very conservative decision-making problem, then it turns out that optimal function is nothing but what our economy as such tells to the decision maker, to you, to decide. So it's a conservative kind of result which we obtain. The other one is called a non-zero sum. First was called zero sum. This one is called a non-zero sum. So non-zero sum differently from a zero sum. Maybe some of you know the famous song of ABBA, famous song of the band ABBA. ABBA were singing, "Winner takes it all." Winner takes it all means the zero sum game. Zero, all or nothing. Zero, all or nothing. So they play against each other. The non-zero sum game don't play against each other. They even with each other in a sense. For example, in a company, you have a sub-company, or you have a partner company, or you want to support a startup company. So whenever there are elements of collaboration, dependency, then you speak about a non-zero sum. So we do the same as before. We make analysis. We find again optimal phi 1. See, we have here phi 1 and phi 2. According to two different players, both of them want to maximize. It's called supremum. So we have optimal solution phi 1 for the first and phi 2 for the second player. And then we continue. For example, company 1 belongs to company 2. Company 1 is designed as a semiconductor industry, and a certain percentage of the terminal payoff of company 1 affects terminal payoff of company 2, and they are in dependency. So one is big, and one is small. So then we have here, but now for each player, we have our stochastic process for the price of the first stochastic product and the bond, and it's also true for the second stochastic process. Yes, investor 1 and investor 2. Okay, and then we get for the two ones, the player 1 and player 2, get their capital processes accordingly. M is equal to 1, M is equal to 2. So this is of the first player and the capital of the second player. And you see here we have alphas. So we have the regime switching. Because you know, when time passes, there will always be good times and bad times. As I said, it's like in the life of a human. Yesterday can be good, today there can be problem, or opposite way. This is life. So, and then we have here the first and the second process, where we have where we have here this terminal saving of the first player, and this is a terminal saving of the second player, and they are multiplied with each other, which means the first one and the second one are sensitive to each other. So x1 is multiplied with x2. x2 is the sensitivity of the first, and here x1 is the sensitivity of the second. So this is what we call sensitivity analysis. And now we solve this problem, and we can find the optimal portfolio. Portfolio means how much the first player puts into the stock market. And this I sub 2 means the share of the second player which he or she puts into the stock market. So these are two, namely for investor 1 and investor 2, the optimal strategies of these two. Okay, then we can find out, we continue, we work, and we find out the optimal solution in it can be like in times economy. It's called in economics called the bear and the bull market. A bear market. The bear swipes with his arms and crushes the other animals. So this is the bear. And the bull who goes down in order to put the other ones on his horns. So this is the bear and the bull. So this is our matrix, which is telling about jump intensities. So, and then we can find the optimal solution. I just want to show you just how it looks like. For example, this is the growth rate of the first product. Mu1 is the growth rate of the first product. And this is our pair in the second market. And you see there are the two players. And then they play against each other. It goes down. So, because they have different opinions, they play against each other, but not really, so to speak, a tamed, controlled process. It's a controlled process how it goes down. But if the jump is negative, it means the jump is negative, so there is a drawback. Then this going down competition is let me say, stopped, and they play in a sense in a proportional, not a proportional, but a proportional way. And here is another animation with different interest rates. Oh, the interest rate is small. If the interest rate is 5%, then the first player puts more money into the stock market. Because the interest rate is so small, investment by putting money into a bank, on a bank account, is not profitable. That's why. But when volume goes up, then the economy grows, and then for reasons of let me say, of conservation, of conservativeness, it goes down. So they play against each other. If the interest rate is big, 70%, then there is little money on the stock market because it's more attractive to put money on the bank directly in order to receive the interest rate. So you see, I don't tell you all the details here because the situation here is one where we have basically different animations, and here this is example what we take into account here is sigma. So we do our study with different volatilities. Volatility means which is the variance. Variance in, so to speak, the data in our price processes. These enter into our price processes by a transformation formula tells us how volatile price is basically. How much oscillates. Is it basically very solid? Is it like a solid body? Or is it more like water? Is it liquid? Is it so used? It more resembles more like water. Is it more like air? Is it evaporating? So, friends, we did all these studies, and I would like to conclude by telling you we also studied about so-called pension fund systems. So in pension fund systems, money, as a company receives all the payments. So, you know, in Indonesia, you have many young people. In Indonesia, it's full of young people. Countries like Germany, it's the opposite. You have many old people and few young people. So, how do we arrange this in order that in the future we'll still have enough money to spend our eve of life? Because this is a very difficult story, because in the future there will be many old people. So how to organize it in a fair way? And so the company takes care about investment of savings. This has to decide. And this company has different products. One is called life assurances, and the other ones, this is called the annuities, payments. So the question is how to organize these financial products in the market. And it's all about the utility of capital. Utility of capital X. So this is the expected value of utility capital X. But on the other side, nobody, only God, no human being knows distributions of our stochastic processes. Don't know them. How can we know? Internet does not know. Don't know. So that's why instead of taking means and variances, stochastic parameters as given, as crisp, rather than we take into account sets, containers, so to speak, containers for the probability. And the probabilities like mean and variances, we don't know. So, and in a sense, we try to tune how small such deviations from a middle point of such uncertainty sets are. Are they very big? When they are very big, then we can over-regularize our process. We can over-regularize, we can be conservative. This means we have a goal, like financial goal, saving, of saving, let's say. But when we regularize too much, we are just busy with our risk averseness, with our fear of life. We are just dealing with our fear of life. We are too conservative here. On reverse, the set of abilities is too small. The set of abilities is too small. In that case, we will ignore danger of our uncertainty. So we solve a problem, but we have wrong opinions about the parameters. We have a wrong opinion about the data. So we study this problem, and it's a game. Game is like between players, best players here. It's just a
Professor Willy, excuse me.
I will finish.
No,
I will
5 minutes
now.
5 minutes more, Prof.
5 minutes more. Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. So the first player is a decision maker. The second player, the market, the nature, uncertainty of, or the nature of the market. So they play each other. It's a human, which is a company who invests money of the savers, the pension fund or the retirement fund, and the other one is the uncertainty of the world, so to speak. So again, we maximize and minimize. We try to have regularization, regularize with uncertainty as small as possible. And we want to have as big as possible the expected utility. So we have our formulas and we solve it. I don't want to teach you much about this. We have optimality criteria and so forth. So we study this in our pension fund system. It's called the DC plan, which means we make now our decision not in the future. We now try to control situation and not leave it all in the future. As I said, we have pension annuity and we have life insurances. This is what we as a company receives all the pension fund payments has to deal with. Okay, I told you this, take longevity into account, because people pass away. This leads to reduction of the capital. In the pension fund system, like life insurance, the person dies, capital of the company, the insurance company becomes less. Okay, we studied all about these things. I don't want to tell you too much. We do the mathematics. We have 3 products. One is called stock, financial stock, which is risky. We have the bond, which is riskless, so to speak. And we have a third one. The third one is new, and the third one is nothing else but an inflation indexed bond. An inflation indexed. So, and it turns out to be very good tool to accommodate our risk position. So it's a very good. When the economy is very strong, we have to be careful because it's overcooking, it's cooking over. So our risk-free bond, together with inflation, which is stochastic, is called a risk-indexed or inflation indexed bond, was very useful. Oh, I would like to tell you, studied us in care. I didn't tell you too much the technical details. Professor Agus and his team, they have my slides. They can send you the slides. Professor Hermann can send you my slides as well. I can send you for these people. I hope you like it a little. Please, bear me. You know, we all love artificial intelligence, but we same much love human intelligence. And this means we want to train our mind. We want to train our heart. We want to train our intelligence in order to be able to invent a better artificial intelligence. Better in terms of more mathematically smart, more human smart, more lovely, more empathetic. And my talk today was one example how mathematics could be beneficial in that process. Thank you very much for your kind attention, dear friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Willy, for the fascinating presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hermann. Thank you, Professor Agus.
Thank you.
Yes. Very good.
Yes, Professor. Okay, thank you so much, Professor. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we shall begin with a question and answer session 2 after all presentation from the speakers. So please feel free to write down your questions via chat box, or you may have the interaction session where you will have the chance to engage directly with our speakers. This question and answer session lasts for 20 minutes, I think. Okay, for both of our speakers, are you ready? And all the participants, if you have questions, perhaps you may raise your hand or chat via chat box.
I will come immediately. One moment, please, because it rang on my door. Maybe my colleague wants to join the discussion. One moment, please. I will immediately.
Okay.
I will immediately, because maybe somebody wants to participate. One moment, please.
Okay, Professor.
Okay. No worries.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please, any questions from you, from the on-site?
Perhaps in the chat room, mister? May I take a look?
Yes, they have
We have
already.
a question in the chat room, isn't it?
We have one question from chat box.
Okay, let's take
That's
a
for
look
that's
the
for
chat
Willy.
box.
Yes,
Yes,
Prof.
Professor.
Can we see? Can
I'm
we
back.
read? Can we read?
I'm back. Oh,
There is a question in the chat.
okay.
There is a question in the chat box. Can we see the questions, please?
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Would you like to? Can I read? Okay, this is from Rahayu University. Okay. All right. This
All
one.
right.
Questions. Okay. What potential future studies and applications in physical neuroscience and cosmology are envisioned for these stochastic control and game theory methods? From Rahayu, is it? From Rahayu,
Right.
okay. The question is for Professor Willy, I think. Yeah, the questions, yes.
Yeah. Good. Mr. Herman, would you also like to answer first? Mr. Herman, would you like to answer first?
Yeah. Professor Herman, would you like to answer the questions, Prof?
Okay, then I will start. Maybe Professor Herman will join. I will start to answer, okay? I will start to answer.
Yes, Prof.
Okay, so thanks for the beautiful question. Actually, the question is very interesting. You know, the talk which I gave, the first part, was published in a journal, a special issue on neuroscience, because all these processes are very much influenced by the human behavior. You know, we all are humans, having very particular individual behaviors, and one way to interpret our behavior and to analyze them is neuroscience. So neuroscience is, so to speak, the science of our neural system, particularly our brain. And this is very much influencing our decision-making, our behavior in general, in particular our decision-making, such as on the financial market. And in neuroscience, we are in future also going to represent our let me say, our current flows, and to model how different parts of the brain represent different parts of our personality. For example, our risk friendliness, our risk reservedness, our let me say, our outgoingness, our shrinking, our kind of fearfulness. So all these processes are basically supported through our neural system, and this is part of our future study. And the other one is a physics. Difference, I refer to generalized physics. So to speak, physics is maybe the most underestimated science. Not that it does not get a Nobel Prize. Physics has always very important Nobel laureates, but the impact of physics and the explanatory value which physics possesses for the whole life, for our inner and outer world, for our behavior, for our feeling, and so forth, is not completely recognized yet. And in that sense, I speak about a generalized physics. So the future generalized physics will maybe a little bit be like our famous scientist Leibniz. I think most of you know Leibniz either as a famous philosopher or as a famous mathematician, or both. And he is one, together with Isaac Newton, of the founders of calculus. So, and he proposed as a model for the smallest particles in the world, so to speak, what keeps the world together, so-called monads. And you can spiritually think of it as spirit, like in the best sense of the Holy Spirit. So we can in future consider how we can see physics in a sense which includes our own behavior, which includes our whole view on the world by 5 states of matter. So it's solid, it's liquid, it's gas, it's plasma or energy, and then the fifth would be spirit or potentiality. So potentiality is, so to speak, what we have, including reality, but the potentiality of being more, the potentiality of what could be possible, with different probabilities. So this is called potentiality. So it can be a potentiality to the good times. It can be a potentiality to the negative times. It can be, now in terms of neuroscience, it can be a potentiality to using our unconscious in a good way, or using our unconscious in a bad way. And as the father of neuroscience said, we have to make good, morally good decisions to feed our uncertainty and to feed our unconscious. Our decision making now, if it's good, in a positive way. if it's spread in a negative way, tells and in a sense partly predetermines our future decision making. And this is called our unconscious. So in future, we will have a very broad view on generalized physics, which takes into account the matter of the neuroscience, especially the interaction between the world, which is physics, which is called the awareness or the consciousness, and the unconsciousness. So that's why we also call, or I call, the fifth state of matter, besides I call it spirit, I also call it the potentiality. And in our study, we demonstrated how stochasticity, which is a certain approach towards studying of the potentiality, can be applied. And of course, we not only looked at optimization, we also looked at game theory. And game theory means playfulness. And playfulness is a very important tool. Artificial intelligence, which not recognizes the nature of the human of being playful creatures. We are not just living beings to get the life finished quickly, but we are playful, we are creative. So this means game theory is in a sense one of the ways in order to represent how creative we create our life for ourselves, how we playfully we create our relationships to the other people and to the whole creation, to the animals, to the plants, to the culture which already has been created. So this is game theory. So all of these issues which I tried to mention can be modeled, but models are very, very fast models. The best model in the world itself. But since we cannot program the whole world, we have to reduce it, and that is what we consider as mathematical modeling. And what I considered and showed you as a model, and we optimized about it, looked very complicated. In reality, it's just a small segment of the huge complexity of the whole world. And it will be then up to us, like I did in this little talk, tune, regularize how much complexity of the world do we want to take into account, or how much we are focused on like big prosperity or big savings of cost. But we have to regularize it. So we always have to have a fine-tuning. How fine or how coarse do we want to have our model? And in that respect, I also tried to mention about this issue of the tuning under the name of Kullback-Leibler entropy or divergence in my talk. So these are just a few ideas in order to address this question. Maybe there are more, but this was just a little idea.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Willy. And we go on with the next...
The second questions.
The second question. The last question?
Last questions, yeah.
To Professor Herman?
Yes.
Is there any question for Professor Herman? Any questions for...
Yes, they have one.
Okay, already, Prof. Oh, yes. How can this model be adjusted or modified for more complex or different water distribution networks? Please, Professor Herman.
Okay, thank you. Who is this? Rahayu, yeah. Oh,
No.
Rizky.
From Ricky.
From Ricky.
Yes.
Rizky.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Yes, Prof.
Yes.
Ricky. Okay, thank you, Ricky. Of course, this model can be used for the even for the what should I say? What is well, in a more complex distribution network. Yes, as I mentioned that it can be used. I mean, it actually the model that I created is already anticipated for the complex one. What is hard for what the potential problems about how to solve that? I mean, because we like, just like myself, I only have a laptop, so I don't think it is suitable for solving the complex problem, the large dimension of the problem. I have the program for solving the large scale problem, but I should say but if I use my laptop, then it will reject the laptop, reject it because the, what should I say, the capacity of the laptop is not enough. So if that's why I used to reduce the dimension, then
recording stopped.
Then I can solve the problem. But of course, it will not answer about your question. Yeah, that's the really potential problem. But if I use, let's say, what is it? The computing
recording in progress.
Computing. If I use supercomputer, then I will be able to solve the problem. So the problem is only to use the tool. Yeah. When I was in Australia, then it is easy for me, as the university has a very good computer system. So I think that's only the potential challenge. The tools that we use in order to solve it, like Prof. Willy.
Yeah.
I mean, you use the computer from Osnan University, so it's not like in USU. So, for example, that we don't have such a supercomputer.
Yeah.
So that's why it would be very hard. I mean, it's not only would be very hard, it would be impossible to solve the larger dimension of the problem. So that's why in my talk, I only use a small one. But actually, it can be used for the complex problem. Maybe that's what risky, yeah. So that's the only potential challenges, not the model. I can create more complex model, but how to handle the large data, that would be the real problem. Maybe you understand it. I don't know, in BSI, maybe Prof. Wahyudi has supercomputer, I don't know. Then it is for sure can solve the more complex problem. Okay, I think
all right, Prof.
I already answered the question.
Okay.
So it's not the model, it's only the how we use the tool.
Recording stopped.
Well noted. Thank you very much, Professor Herman.
Recording in progress.
Okay, for Professor Dr. Herman Mawenkang and Professor Dr. Gerhard Willem Weber. We need your time for a little bit. We want to confer the e-certificate to you, one by one, of course. First of all, we are start from Professor Dr. Herman Mawenkang. Okay.
Okay.
Give me well, sir. We want to take our documentation.
Okay, thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Okay.
good position.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
You're welcome.
Okay. And now, Professor
second
Dr.
one.
Gerhard Willem Weber. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
We are going to
Okay.
take the documentation. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you so much, Professor
Thank
Willie.
you so much, Professor, for the question and answer session 2. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we are now about to begin the parallel session. This parallel
Okay.
session will be divided into 3 different online rooms and 1 offline room. After the parallel session, please do not forget to return, since we still have our next agenda for our keynote and invited speakers. Thank you.
Okay, this is we have four rooms, 1 offline room and 3 other online rooms. And here we are going to read. Is it number 14, the ID article, number 14, 19, 26, 27, 81, 45, and the last will be 72, will be in room 607.
Yeah, this is for the online room.
This is for the online room, right? And another room, 608, the ID article will be 46, 51, 68, 71, 43, 57, and 58. The online room, 608.
Okay.
And this one is room 605. The ID article number 2, 54, 40, 49, 53, and 38. Online room. Once again, I'm going to read room 603 for the offline room, number 21, 16, 74, 33, and 18.
This is for the offline room, sir.
This is for the offline
Yes,
room, right?
Precisely.
Okay. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much for all the participants in the Aulas room. We take a break for the parallel session and I'll see you. Okay, do not forget to come back at, what the time, sir? 2 hours.
It's about 2 hours.
It's about 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours,
Okay, we'll
ladies and
meet again in this room. Thank you.
Take a seat right over there. Sat on the stairs. Stay. Leave. I want you for the dirty and clean. When you're waking in your dreams, make me bite my tongue and make me scream. See, I got everything that you need. Ain't nobody gonna do it like me. We are burning out.